that's what I hope people tune in the show for, to get some more knowledge of different things. We're not constantly asking the same questions. I will ask, when I ask a lot of times, and I have somebody of your stature on here, and it may be difficult, do you have like a proudest win, proudest moment type of thing?
I got a few of them now. Most recently, we're talking about team bowling. The PBA League, the Portland Lumberjacks, Tim Mack as our
Awesome.
manager, Ryan Simonelli, who's been basically with me side by side on that team. We were able to pick up Kyle Troop one year, who's been with us for 3 or 4 years now. And then to be able to pick up Chris Prather, who just won the PBA playoffs there, in that building and that environment, which was absolutely the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life, is to see.
Incredible.
Oh my God! And I wasn't even there for the top 4. And I know Bill O'Neill had the front 10 one game. I can only imagine how that place was. So to be able to pick up Chris Prather and then sweep back around and grab Mitch Hoope, which is a great player with not a ton of experience in an environment like that. He handled it very, very well. And not only that, to be able to bring home the Elias Cup for those fans in that environment was absolutely incredible, and it's something I'll never forget. Definitely, probably one of the top 3 moments of my career, top 5. But other than that, one that really, really, really sticks with me, that will always stick with me, is probably my second win in Vernon Hills, just north of Chicago. Our oldest son, Jordan, was sick that week. This was back when my kids and their mom traveled with me and came out and tried to experience, but like I said, he was sick. He had a little croup, which wasn't anything serious. He'd been through it before, but he needed to go in, be on an IV, got dehydrated and all that. So I was able to still compete. It's not like I needed to be by his side.
Okay.
So but the deal was all he wanted to do was watch Daddy bowl that week, and to continue to hear that, because obviously I would go see him every day.
Sure.
And I just, I kept hearing Daddy bowl, so that kept me going. There were times I could have kind of just really, I could have said, screw this, I need to go be with my son. Things could have went wrong, but I took it in a way, and I kept going and kept going and kept fighting. I was able to make the TV show, and then he was able to be there with me, and then to be able to run through that ladder and win that title, and then for him to be out on the approach with me and hoist that trophy. I still have pictures. I have a couple of different things, and that is something I'll never forget.
Gave me chills just thinking about it.
It's really, really cool to have something like
family
that.
They're unbelievable.
No.
Tell us something that we might not know about Wes Malott.
Well, again, as I mentioned, bowling's been my life, basically my whole, and even before my adulthood. So, but before I did go out on tour, I know I've mentioned this before in different, instances, possibly like this. So some people might know, some people might not. But I used to trim houses, custom homes. We go in, we do all the finish work, we do the baseboards, we hang the doors, we do all the crown molding. I mean, we dress the house up, make it look really nice.
Nice.
And it's something that woodworking's kind of always been something. I've got tons and tons of tools at home. Chop saws to every kind of saw you could probably think of, to build stuff and do stuff. Obviously, I don't have a ton of time to do that, but it's still something I enjoy to do. And just, it's like I said, it's the trim work that dresses up a home.
I love
it's the detail that's absolutely amazing.
Woodworking's kind of my hobby, amateur woodworker, but love it, man. Too cool. I could see that. I know you're a detail guy, man.
Even in the pro shop business and bowling. As you mentioned, I'm very smooth. I'm critical on myself. I want that smoothness. I remember doing that. Same thing in the pro shop business. I can utilize that woodworking skill and bowling balls, take my knowledge of understanding bowling balls the way I do, and then being able to kind of put that expertise of woodworking by, scribes. I like to scribe the bowling balls, but when I scribe, I don't just throw lines on it. my center scribe line is what it is. But when I go, I do the finger scribes, they're 1.5 inches long. The bridge line's 1.5 inches long. The thumb line's 2 inches long. I mean, there's all that measurement, and it's it is perfectly square. So it's kind of incorporating that woodwork into it, and using that, that expertise or that to be able to do it and be able to repeat drillings and stuff like that to do that. So
that's fantastic, man. I didn't know that. That's
kind of why I like it.
Excellent. What's on your agenda for the rest of this year?
Oh my goodness, this month coming up is crazy. From here we go. I'll fly out tomorrow morning. I go to Chesapeake, Virginia. Okay. We have the summer swing kind of coming up. We started out right after Bowl Expo. We had the Lubbock Regional. Then we had the Lucy doubles a couple weeks ago, which I bowled with Verity from kind of a product from Kegel and Weber. I always love bowling with her. Didn't have her best year, but that's okay. We'll be back.
Absolutely.
We got some things to work on together. If we're going to continue to do this, we need to work together a little bit better and be on a little bit more of the same page. Hopefully we can get together at some point throughout the year.
Practice
maybe it's
together.
I'm sure they're probably bowling at Plano. Maybe it's I go up there or something for a couple of days and hang out. We kind of discuss, just get to know each other even a little bit more than just showing up to Lucy, talking a little bit and bowling, and kind of letting her be on her own, let me be on my own.
Instead
if we're
going
to continue, if we're going to do this and we want to win this thing, we need to work at it a little bit more as anything.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a team effort. But so this is the kickoff of August. It's going to be crazy. We go Chesapeake for 3 days. We go to Wilmington for 3 days. Then they go to Delaware, but I'm not going to go to Delaware. I'm going to go home. My kids start school on the 15th, so I'm going to go home. I'm going to see my kids, be with my kids over the weekend. Then from there, I'm going to go to we bowl in Coldwater, Ohio for 3 days. Okay. Bowl that event. I think it's a little small 12 or 16 lane center. I've never been there, but I hear it's a crazy event, a lot of fun. So kind of looking forward to that, even though I hear the surface is a little rough and we're bowling on like 34 feet. So could be interesting.
Short, baby.
But scores are always low in that building. So again, looking forward to kind of that experience and knowing that going in makes it okay.
Good challenge.
So exactly. So that's all how we handle it. And then from there we go up to Aurora, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, and do the real summer swing, I guess, where we're there for 3 or 4 events, where we bowl on the bear, the badger, and the wolf, I believe, and then we have the final event of that series. Then September comes around, I get to go home and spend some time at home and hopefully catch up on some things and get some things taken care of. And October, birthday week, October 26th, we're at the U.S. Open in Mooresville, North Carolina. So looking forward to that event as always. And then that pretty much, other than, well, actually, there might be some events. I might go over to Thailand and Korea for the Samho Cup. There's been some talk about that, so I got to figure out if I can make that work and fit that into the schedule with things I got going on. So it's full. It's a lot.
You're busy, and then it's Christmas 2020, and we do it all over again.
And then we just announced the tour for 2020 season, and it starts up a little bit later, I think a week later, and up in the Dallas area, Arlington at the Hall of Fame. And man, as soon as we get started on like the 14th, I think, or something, maybe the 19th, I don't remember what it is. I mean, it's like 6 weeks straight. And I was, Tom Clark's here for the trade show, and I talked to him a little bit when we went out to do the clay shooting yesterday. So talked about the schedule. Some of the guys are kind of complaining about it, and I'm like, well, this isn't even what it was when I started out on tour. I mean, it was September to April, maybe a couple weeks off during Christmas. It was every week. The difference is, like I mentioned, I mean, we start middle of January, we go, I mean, it's like 6 weeks straight.
Right.
I know last year I ended up driving the swing through Ohio's and Indy and Jonesboro, Arkansas. I left, I think, on the 30th of January. I didn't come home until like the 3rd of March. So I was not home one day in February. And the deal is these tournaments that we're running back to back to back right now, it's like all majors formats are longer, so there's no time in between tournaments to come home.
Gotcha.
To where back in the day, it was practice was on Wednesday afternoon. I don't remember if we had a pro-am or not, but then we had qualifying on Thursday, match play on Friday, pro-ams on Saturday, show on Sunday. And if you didn't make, the show, you could go home Saturday evening. You could have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday home, and then you could fly back on Wednesday morning. So there was some time to actually go home and spend some time with family or whatnot, to be able to kind of just take a break and kind of hit the reset button, to where major. I mean, you're talking. I mean, these are full 5-6 days event, not just 3-day events. So it's a lot.
When I was out doing lanes, I mean, Sunday was your travel day, essentially laundry day, and then boom, Monday you're back at practice. And I mean, those guys were constant week to week to week, traveling all the time. So
Yep.
yeah, that's a hard schedule.
So it's awesome to have. What Tom Clark, the PBA, and all those guys have done with our schedule. Thanks to Fox Sports for stepping up and doing what they're doing. They made the shows absolutely amazing. Just downstairs a while ago, they showed the clip again of the PBA league and us winning, and how that event it looked like a real sporting event.
Yeah, it did.
Every time I watch it, I get chills, and it's just really cool. And so kudos to those guys for what they're doing. And with the schedule and being able to give us some events to bowl. Again, I know some people are kind of talking about it, complaining about it, but hey, take a week off and go home.
Yep.
Golfers, I mean, they play almost year round.
Good point.
NASCAR drivers, they're like year round. If you need to take a week off, take a week off. Daria, she took this week off, went home, see family. I mean, sometimes you just need to do that.
But at least
and get
you
away.
got the stops that are there to be able to bowl.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. Now there's something still to bowl. If 1 week is really going to be that detrimental, maybe this isn't your deal, right?
You need to be out there. Yep.
So it's you got to pick and choose things.
I fully agree with that.
As much as we might not want to, fortunately for us, that's where we're at, and we have that opportunity to be able to do that.
Exactly.
Because in my opinion, I don't mind doing like a World Series thing once a year, where you go somewhere and you bowl out those 4 or 5 events in one venue in a week and a half. That's all great, but doing that 3 times a year, that's for the birds. You're not getting your true athlete, your true player of the year out of something like that, in my opinion.
Good point.
Because you're limiting. I mean, let's go to Pebble Beach. Let's play 5 tournaments there. Let's go to Torrey Pines, play 5 tournaments there, and all these courses might favor one style of person or whatnot, and that's the same deal. You go to some centers around the world, lefties might dominate, or straighties might dominate, or the big crank. I mean, depending on, it really doesn't matter what patterns you put out. Sometimes you can only do so much with it.
As a lanesman, I can confirm.
So by now being able to travel to all these different centers, now you're getting that true versatile player. And what takes, what it requires to be there.
And I was fortunate to be able to do that when I was doing lanes on tours in the 90s, because that's exactly how it was. Always ask this question at the end of the show. Any specific advice for up and coming youth?
Well, obviously spares are huge. Everybody says that. So I'm going to say it too, but I always have something to say on top of it. And I've kind of learned this one too. I heard Jason Couch say this a few times. Whatever you do, as soon as you step on that approach, after you go through your pre-shot routine, because you have to have a pre-shot routine. You have to, I mean, like you'll see me balk on TV sometimes. As soon as I do, back off, I go through the whole routine again. Put powder on my hands, pick dry my hand, clean my shoe if I need to, whatever the case may be. There is a pre-shot routine. But once I step on that approach, before I step on that approach, I got to know what's going on. I got to know what I want to do. And I've had to commit to that shot. Because if you step on that approach and you're like, I'm not real sure, the chances of you making that shot are slim to none.
Yep.
So whatever it is that you've committed to do, commit to it. Commit to it. Believe in it. Trust in yourself to be able to make that, because it's the only way you're going to get a read off of it or be able to do the next thing that may need to be done.
And that's sound advice that applies in everything in life, not just bowling.
Absolutely.
Wes, I cannot thank you enough for coming out, brother. It was a pleasure seeing you. And
Always a
hopefully you
pleasure,
get some
Donnie.
rest after this swing. Ladies, gentlemen, children, that's a wrap for today. Keep those wrenches turning. Have a wonderful day.